And it's spicy too.
Are we ready? Remy, push crumb baby.
I'm ready.
All right, my name's Emily. I'm coming to talk to you guys today about starting your own business. I started the Black Forest Cat Cafe, so that's kind of my experience. It's a small business in Fort Wayne. It's like about a half hour from here. I don't know if has anybody been there before? Yeah, okay. Do you have any other favorite like small businesses around here or anything that you like to go to that's a local, family owned anything?
Martha's.
Martha's, what's that?
It's a popcorn thing.
Popcorn, okay.
Oh, yeah.
What about you?
The diner.
The diner, okay. Cool. Anybody
You know,
else?
9th Street
Been a handful of them. Night Street?
Brew. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Is it
in
good?
Auburn. Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so you guys know a little bit about local businesses and stuff like that. We live in a very good area where I feel like the community is very supportive of it. You get a lot of people coming in to support your small business. So if that is something you'd ever like to do, this is kind of how you do it. So if you have not been there before, Black Forest Cat Cafe is this little cafe, like I said, in Fort Wayne. I opened it with my mom a little under 3 years ago. And basically what we do is we adopt out cats from our local shelter in one side, and then in the other side we have a coffee shop. So for the cats, we partner with Fort Wayne Animal Care and Control, the city shelter, and for the coffee, we partner with Old Crown, which is another local business in Fort Wayne. We get all our beans from them. So my mom was very passionate about having good coffee along with the cat stuff. But yeah, so that's basically what we do. We've had a little over 900 adoptions so far in under 3 years, so we have been doing pretty good. I'm very grateful for everybody's support so far. We've gotten to find a lot of cats' homes, and we have a really extensive menu, which is also always fun, like our Kai Chai's up there. It's always fun coming up with drinks and stuff too, so I'm very lucky I get to kind of have a wide portfolio of a lot of different things I get to try and integrate into my business. But I didn't just get here overnight. Obviously, we had to kind of work up to it, put a lot of work in as we open. So that's where kind of the step-by-step stuff comes in. So before we open, we had to come up with steps to success. We had to have a purpose, develop a plan, create my branding, and then launch our business. So first, to have a purpose, we had to solve a problem, fill a gap in the market, and pursue a passion. So for filling a gap in the market, obviously, we are a pretty unique business. Not a lot of people have ever been to a cat cafe or know about them, so luckily we didn't have a ton of competition, which worked well in our favor. So before opening a business, obviously you just want to think about if you would have a lot of competition in your area, think about if maybe you'd want to move a little further away from them, come up with something that would make it unique, just make yourself stick out so you don't have a ton of direct competition close to you. And then pursuing a passion, so obviously you want to be passionate about what you're doing. If you just open something because you think it'll make a lot of money or because you think that it'll be fun for a little bit and then you can just sell it off to somebody else, obviously your passion isn't going to be there. People are probably going to feel that when they visit your business, so you want to make sure that it's something you're very excited to open and share with the community. But solving a problem, do you guys know what my business could be solving, or like things that we thought would solve problems by? Yeah?
Like the comfort people feel with cats.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a big passion of ours. We always say, even if you're not going to adopt when you visit us, even just the comfort of being around the cats is always something that could help people out, especially if you live in like an apartment or go to college where they don't let you have cats with you. So we kind of tried to expand our audience to as many people or help out as many people as they want. Is there anything else you guys think is a problem that we're solving? Oh, okay, so the other big one was the shelter that we partner with. I don't know how it is here, but I know in Fort Wayne we have a ton of street cats, a ton of cats that are not being able to get adopted, and the shelter's super full. So a big passion of ours is also just being able to help them get adopted so that it lessens the euthanasia rates in Fort Wayne. So by adopting almost 1,000 cats by now, I hope that we've helped solve that problem a little bit, but we're always working towards that, so that's a really big one. And then also just coffee. I mean, it's not a life-ending problem or anything, but people are very passionate about coffee, so that's another problem we hope to solve with people, is getting them good coffee. I know at least in the area that we're at, the only real place to get coffee is Starbucks, which is great, but local businesses are always more cool and awesome, so we wanted to kind of build some local businesses in that area where it was kind of lacking. So yeah. Second thing is developing a plan. So the biggest thing was just outlining your objective, making it apparent to other people what you're trying to accomplish so they can kind of get on board and help support you. So the first thing is making an overview. So at least for our business, it's very unique. Not a lot of people knew what it was. Every time we would talk to landlords, talk to people trying to help like get support, spread the word, everybody was always like, what is a cat cafe? Like, what are you talking about? So you want to make sure that you make it very clear to everybody that you're trying to sell your business on, even if it's not financially. We had to convince landlords to let us rent their building. We had to convince the city to let us get all of the permits and stuff like that. So you really want to lay out exactly how your business would work, make people understand it, and help them see why it would be successful in the area. Secondly, you want to research your market. So unfortunately for us, like I said, we are very unique, so there's no cat cafes we could really go and just take notes in Fort Wayne. But we could pull from inspiration from other little coffee shops in Fort Wayne, stuff that maybe worked for them, things that we would change ourselves. You just want to visit as many places similar to what you want to do and take notes. Make sure that it's something you want to do. If there's something you don't like, you want to make sure you avoid it, take notes, all that good stuff. It's just always good to take inspiration, but also learn from other businesses what you like, what you don't like about them. And then next is creating a business model. So you want to pick your location. That's a super important one, at least for us. We are only so successful because we are by other businesses, so we get a lot of foot traffic. So that's always something good to think about. Staffing, we're super passionate about having like-minded people work with us, so super welcoming. We want to make sure that everybody's on the same page when they work with us. Everybody's super nice, super kind, passionate about the goals of our business. So when you pick out your staffing, you really want to keep that in mind as well. And then processes. So for my mom and I, when we were starting our business, we really laid out every single step of when somebody walks through the door to when they leave, exactly how everything would happen. So you really want to think about how it would work start to finish, walk through it over and over and over again, see if you can streamline anything, see if you can think through how it would work as efficiently as possible, and kind of work out all the bugs before you open. That way it works well. You don't waste any money, you don't waste any time, people feel comfortable coming in. It just makes more sense that way if you walk through it over and over and over again. And then finally, building a financial plan. So obviously the biggest part of the business is you got to make money, you got to be able to stay open. So a lot of people do get funding from other places, like I know you guys probably heard of like GoFundMe, stuff like that. You can get funding online. Unfortunately, that does take a lot longer if you are depending on other people. So the other alternative is to either pull a loan out on your own name, stuff like that. For us, my mom was lucky enough to get a second mortgage on her house to open our business, so that's also an option. But obviously that's a big risk. So you just want to think about how you're going to fund it, especially with the brick and mortar business. You do have to have a lot of money up front. So make sure you keep that in mind as well. But also for other small businesses, when I was younger, I did stuff like Etsy with building stuff online and selling it. So there's other options. You don't need a brick and mortar business. You can still be an entrepreneur without having an actual shop. You can do stuff online now, which is really cool. There's a lot more accessible options nowadays for you as well. Yes?
Brick and mortar, is that just like from scratch? Is that what you're meaning?
So brick and mortar just means that it's like an actual building that people can go to. So there's a lot of places online like Etsy, eBay, Amazon sellers nowadays. Those technically aren't brick and mortar unless they also have a store you could go to. All that stuff's online. So brick and mortar, you have to think about rent, you have to think about your supply, where you're going to store everything, obviously, just all that good stuff, how to make it look good for the customers because they'll actually be going to your business. So there's a few different challenges with brick and mortar versus online, but both can be very successful. It's just kind of what you're trying to do with your business and what'll work best for you. Yeah, good question. Next. So the next thing is creating your branding. So at least for our business, since we are a cafe, there's a big culture around coffee and around that kind of vibe. So we wanted to make sure that we fit our branding. Everything is very recognizable, all that good stuff. So the first and most important thing, obviously, is your name and logo. So your business name, you want to make sure when people read it, immediately they know what it is. So luckily, Cat Cafe is right in the name, so that always makes people talk, starts making people question what it is, even if they haven't been there before. And it really just wants to kind of capture what you're going for in your business, make it straightforward. And then your logo, you want it to have maybe a color scheme that you really like, have things continue throughout the business. So for ours, if you've ever been there before, it is kind of German themed because my family is from Germany, so we have a lot of recipes that are German from my grandparents and stuff like that. A lot of the color scheme, nature centered as well from like Black Forest in Germany. So I kind of tried to integrate that into our logo a little bit with like trees and the German house style and then the coffee cup, all that good stuff. So hopefully when you look at it, you at least kind of get a little bit of a feel for what our business is about. And then secondly, your mission and values. So you really want to make sure, especially as a small business, that you're very straightforward about your mission, get people on board with it, make them passionate. So thankfully for ours, it is very easy to get people to care a lot about cats and coffee. Everybody always loves coffee. So we always try to really push for helping us get cats adopted, all that good stuff. It's pretty easy to get people on board because cats are just awesome. But Obviously with whatever you're doing, you really wanna have a good mission behind it and that makes people passionate about what you're doing. And then a unique selling proposition, like I mentioned before, you really wanna make sure you don't have a ton of competition, make yourself stand out and be unique compared to other businesses. And as a small business, especially right now in today's day and age, I think that there are a lot of people pushing to support small businesses. So then in there, that's a big advantage that you have over places like Starbucks or other things, whatever business you're going into. Small businesses thankfully get a lot of support from the community, so that's always something that you really want to push. But just make sure that you're different, put your personality into it, all that good stuff. Just make yourself stand out when you're thinking about making your branding your business. And then finally, your voice and aesthetic. So you want to make sure that your personality comes out in your branding. So another big advantage with being a small business is that there's people behind it. So instead of a big corporation, like no face, just black, white, gray, all this stuff, voice and aesthetic can be really warm, inviting. There's a face behind the business, and that really makes people want to support you as well. So make sure you take advantage of that if you're ever trying to start a small business. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. A little story about that, when we were opening, my mom was really passionate about putting family photos with our cats and stuff on the wall, and I was 20 at the time when we were starting to open, so obviously I was a little bit shy, and I was like, I don't want people to come in and like see pictures of our family and stuff like that. But as I got older, it really stuck out to me how many people were touched by that and how they saw that and really felt that connection right when they come in to support us. So my mom knew what she was doing at that point, but just don't be afraid to kind of show your face, connect with people. That's really the big advantage and the benefit of having a small business. It's one of the parts that moved me the most, is just getting to meet a ton of awesome people, connect with them on a personal level, and kind of change a lot of people's lives through your business. So, yeah. Some tips for me. So my mom is more of the corporate side of like working one-on-one with people. I'm more of the artistic side with kind of setting all that stuff up, like the website, all of our things like that. So from my point of view, I wanted to tell you guys to take advantage of your own strengths, teach yourself skills instead of contracting out. So as you can imagine, a lot of stuff starting a business is expensive. Anywhere you want to save money, you want to be able to save money. So when we were building our business plan, talking to the city, a lot of the stuff that we would normally pay like a contractor to do or an architect to do, I just learned it online and did it on a website, and it's just super easy once you get the hang of it. So anything that you can save money on, I mean, you guys have YouTube, you know how it is. You have YouTube nowadays, all the internet stuff you can learn online. Don't doubt yourself, you can teach yourself pretty much anything, and the city, as long as it looks good, they'll be like, okay, good job, like that works for me. So don't be afraid to try stuff like that. Utilizing social media and local news channels are obviously super important as well. So not only social media, which I know that's like the easiest one, it's super straightforward, we're all used to that by now. But there's a whole other demographic in news channels. So for our business, so we have a lot of young people visiting, but we also have a lot of old ladies and old cat ladies, everybody that wants to come and love on the cats as well. So try not to like have a narrow mind of who your audience wants to be. You really want to try to reach as many people as possible. So don't be afraid to reach out to people like that. And then lastly, a large part of owning a business is the unique personality and experience you bring to it. So like I mentioned in the last one, don't be afraid to, connect with people, show your face, all that good stuff. Like over here, so the news channel, I made the open sign myself. We do all of our shirts, like all the shirts design I do, which I'm very grateful to be able to do that as well. So any of your own passions, anything that you think might not typically fit into a small business, you can kind of work in and make it your own, and that's what makes it unique and stick out. So yeah, there's stuff like that. Any passions you have, you can work in, even if it's not usually in stuff like that. And then finally launching and maintaining your business. So after all that's done, you finally open. You're not done, obviously you have a long ways to go still. So over the past 3 years, we're still always learning things every single day, trying new things. Our staff is amazing. We have about 10 people working with us right now. We're always adding to our cat room, so we're always adding different shelving, learning how to expand stuff, make it work as best as possible. We have different groups, so like we host D&D nights once a month. We have different small businesses or like local groups that we also donate the space to. So just kind of try to figure out how to keep connecting with the community. You always want to try to grow as much as possible. That's actually not even true anymore. It's up to 900 now since I made this thing. But yeah, we've had almost 900 or over 900 adoptions, always coming up with new menu stuff. And then this is us at a Hello Walk Weekend thing for the shelter. But we also go to Pride. We also go to other events around Fort Wayne. So you always kind of want to try to expand your kind of your audience. Even if you are brick and mortar, there's always chances to kind of go out and have little booths or have little stuff to really get your name out there. So I'd always recommend trying to do stuff like that too. Yeah, that's all I have. If you guys wanna ask me anything, I'm happy to answer any questions or anything, yeah.
Is the cat thing like separate? Cause if someone were going there for like a cafe,
Mm-hmm.
would it be like completely separate? Cause I'm like a little allergic to cats, but I love cats.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't know, how would that, like, how's the,
Yeah, so our coffee shop and our cafe is separate. So like imagine this is the building, there's a big wall down the middle. And this whole side is the cats, there's big windows you can look in. You can go in if you want to, but obviously you don't have to. And then that way, even if you are allergic, you can kind of sit in the windows, watch them. And I always tell people too, as long as you're not severely allergic, we have air filters running in there all the time. We are cleaning, we mop and wipe everything down every single morning. So it's super clean in there. And it's only usually about an hour that people stay. So I always tell people, even if you are allergic, pop a Benadryl, go in there, we keep it clean, like you'll be okay for an hour. If you really love cats, I would just say take the chance. But yeah, so if you don't want to get a cat, or a lot of people come in the mornings, like before work and stuff, and just get a coffee and go to work, so you don't have to stay super long if you don't want to either. Yeah, good question. Anybody else?
So are you guys like very open to like artistic like styles for like how you like present your coffee, or like are you always changing up?
So the first year we weren't able to have like in-house cups, and that was something we really were trying to work towards. So since then we got glass cups, and we're really passionate about teaching our baristas like how to make pretty drinks and stuff like that. Because especially nowadays, I mean, you guys know with Starbucks with everything, like pretty drinks almost matter just as much, if not more, than if they taste good with a lot of people. So we're really passionate about making sure they look pretty when people order them. We usually come up with different drinks every season. So like right now we just did our spring menu, which is fun. So yeah, we're always switching it up, making like new stuff for people to come in and try, but also obviously keeping our main base menu as well. But that's like a really good point too, because you always want to be changing. We were worried when we first opened, since we're a cat cafe and it's a pretty novel thing, that a lot of people would just come in once and be like, oh, that's cool, I tried it, like, all right, I don't need to go see that again, like, I saw it once, I don't need to, whatever. But doing stuff like changing the menu, adding stuff to the walls in the cat lounge, getting new cats every week because they all get adopted so quickly, stuff like that really keeps people coming back and seeing kind of what's new every time they visit, so. That was a good one. Yeah.
Do you have, is it just coffee, or do you guys do like lunches or anything like that as well?
So we started with just coffee. We did soft pretzels because that's kind of like our German theme with these big pretzels. And then we also did avocado toast, just like a few smaller things. But one thing we're really working to expand over time is also expanding our menu. So a lot of people have voiced to us that they really want lunches, stuff like that. So we always try to listen to our customers and then add stuff as we go. So we did recently add like sandwiches, stuff like that as well. And we're hoping to do maybe soup someday and all that. Obviously that costs money, you gotta plan and research all your equipment, so that's kind of where we're in the process right now, but yeah, we're always trying to expand our menu and make it more, like reach even more people with our audience. Okay, well I have stickers, I'm gonna pass them around, but if you guys think of any